Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I have some brand new Dollar Tree home decor DIYs. If you're new to my channel and you like home decor and DIYs on a budget, make sure to stick around by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. All right, let's get started. For this first DIY, I'm going to be using 6 of these woven rugs from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be making them into an ottoman. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of the rugs and I am going to place the long ends that don't have the tassels at the end together, and I'm going to use some hot glue to secure those together. But if you know how to sew or you have a sewing machine, you could sew with this instead, or you could use fabric glue, but hot glue works in a pinch. And then I'm going to add 2 more to the top of one of them and then also another one. So that way I have a long line of 4 of these glued together. Then I'm going to take both ends. So I'm going to take the top end, which is not glued, and then the bottom end, and I am going to glue those together at the seams. And again, I am just using some hot glue to secure them together. And then that way, when I'm done, I have 2 ends that are on the tassel sides that are open. So I need to cover those up, and that is what the other 2 rugs are going to be used for. So I took the other 2 rugs, and first thing I did was I cut the tassels off on both ends of those rugs, just on one side, because the other side doesn't matter because you're going to have to cut the rug in half anyways. And then once I got the tassels cut off, I'm going to go ahead and use a measuring tape, and I just measured the width of the rug, which was about 15.5 inches, and then that is the length I'm going to cut each rug. So I'm going to take it from one side, and then I'm going to mark it at 15.5 inches, so that way I have kind of a perfect square. So I just marked mine with some pins, and then I used some scissors and cut both of those pieces. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my piece out that I already have glued together, and I'm just going to match up the top and one of the bottoms of the rugs. Just line them up so that way you have a bottom and a top, and then 2 sides, and the 2 sides will be folded outward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to arrange that, and then I'm going to take the inside where the tassels are, and I'm going to flip that one piece down and then kind of create my square box here. And then I can take one of the rugs that I cut into a square, and I'm just going to place that on top, and I'm going to hot glue that to the inside of the rugs. And then once I get that hot glued, I have one of my sides finished. Now, before I hot glue the other side, I'm going to go ahead and fill the ottoman with some stuffing. I'm just going to use some stuffing from an old pillow that I had. I actually was about 3 old pillows it took to stuff this because it's pretty big. Then once I got most of it filled as best as I could, I just laid the other square piece of rug on top of the ottoman, and I hot glued it down. And then I did go ahead and use a little more stuffing before I went ahead and finished it off on one side and hot glued that side together, so that way I would make sure that it was completely full. And that was it. I have a pretty decent sized ottoman, and it looks really high end, but it didn't cost that much. For this next DIY, I'm going to use these bamboo rings from Dollar Tree. I have 3 packs of them. They come with a bigger one and a smaller one in each pack. So I'm going to separate the bigger ones together and then the smaller ones together. I also used some wooden dowels from Dollar Tree. I used 4 for the big rings and then 4 for the smaller rings. And what I'm doing with the wooden dowels is those are going to be the supports to hold 2 of the rings. One ring is going to be on the bottom and one ring is going to be on the top. So I cut these wooden dowels to the height that I wanted. It just depends on how much space you want in between your rings. And I used some dog nail trimmers to cut these wooden dowels. It works really well and gives you a pretty clean cut. And then I hot glued the wooden dowels across from each other on the inside of one of the rings, and then I put the other ring on the top part of the wooden dowels and made sure I hot glued those dowels on the inside of that top ring as well. Then with the third ring, I'm going to basically cut it in half. I just use scissors for that. It will split, so when you do this, be very, very careful. And then I hot glued that one to the inside of the top ring to make a handle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat the process for the smaller rings and do the same thing. And then I'm going to paint both of these with some black paint. You can paint them any color you want, and I think these turned out perfect for some decor. This next home decor DIY is super easy. I used 2 of these foam wreath forms from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut one with an X-Acto knife right there on that line, and then I'm going to insert the other ring inside of it and hot glue that part where I cut, and then I'm just going to paint it black, and you can stack these on books or coffee tables. It works perfect. This last DIY is super easy. I wish I had more glassware from Dollar Tree to do this on. I have this candle holder from Dollar Tree, and I am going to use this self-adhesive cork board. I just took a ruler and I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife to cut a strip out of the cork board, and then I am going to wrap that piece around the bottom of the glassware, and this just elevates the glassware and makes it look, I think, more high-end. You can do this on any piece from Dollar Tree. I just cut the excess corkboard with an X-Acto knife, and I'm going to use this as a cute little vase for my kitchen. Thank you all so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.